I just saw something, Domonique. Guess who say he's faster than Tyreek Hill?
Don't do it. Not Scotty.
Guess who said it?
Not Scotty.
No.
Now you done gone too far, Scotty. You done gone
Welcome
too far,
to Highly
Scotty.
Questionable. There we go. We got Israel
too
Gutierrez
far,
and Dominique Foxworth, who can't believe what I just said.
That's the whole take right there.
Chill, Scotty, chill.
Is it time for the Rams to move on from Jared Goff?
All right, Jared Goff was the #1 overall pick 5 years ago. All right, in that time period, he has been a quarterback in a Super Bowl, and he has gotten a giant extension. None of us actually being sure if he was any good. And if you think the Rams are sure if he's any good, listen to General Manager Les Snead.
Jared Goff's he's a Ram right now. So what's the date? Look at that's January 26th. I mean, that's a fact. What I can say is Jared Goff's a Ram in this moment. And I said it's way too early to speculate. The future, that's a beautiful mystery.
Jeez.
Okay, so I had only read those quotes. I did not realize that the man was stammering. I did not realize that the man was trying to figure out what the date was. Just to let you know, this only applies for right now. Is it time for them to move on? We're a little late. They have already moved on. It's just a matter of when they move him. He has not been moved. They are gone. This is a wrap. And the top 2 picks in that draft, one of them is done in that town. The other one is Carson Wentz, and they love him so much they're going to try like hell to keep him. The Rams, they ain't got love for you like that.
Yeah, they didn't draft him. Nobody that's there was a part of bringing Jared Goff in. And you forgot when you went through the chronology. My bad. When you went through the chronology, that's the word I was looking for, the chronology of Jared Goff's career, you left out the fact that he was the biggest bust we had ever seen in his first season. And then they came in and made him into something. So they don't have any respect for him because they don't believe that he's very good. It feels like they believe that Sean McVay made him whatever success that he's had and they could do it with somebody else. But the questionable part there is not what Jared Goff has done in the situation. What the hell was y'all doing? Y'all knew what he was when you signed up. Maybe you shouldn't have signed up. Now you got $60+ million of dead money on the cap if you try to cut him, so you can't really do anything with him. So maybe he won't start next year, but he's going to be on your roster. That's for damn sure.
I just want to know what he did to deserve this level of disrespect. I mean, I understand turnovers, yada, 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 but this man got you to a Super Bowl. At some point, you have to at least move on with some level of respect. I don't know, Dominique. I don't know if you can fix the turnovers, the ball security thing. It seemed like that was sort of the dividing point between him and, the offensive genius at the head coach. And that's what you want, basically. If you're the head coach, if you're Sean McVay, you want some guy that's not going to screw up your offense. And that's what seemed to be what Jared Goff had been doing. But it didn't seem like it was this bad. It seemed pretty obvious, though, when you started reading that they were going to start Walford, regardless if Jared Goff was healthy in that playoff game. And that seems like, there's no coming back from that. I would say this in terms of, we talk all the time about saving a quarterback's career or make sure you don't waste it. Don't waste Aaron Donald on this team. They need to move on, find a quarterback, and make sure that Aaron Donald gets that Super Bowl ring and gets that more love that he deserves because he's the best defensive player.
So we're not even going to address the fact that he said beautiful mystery? Like that's directly. He's like winking and flirting, showing some leg to Aaron Rodgers, who said that his career was a beautiful mystery, or his time is a beautiful mystery in Green Bay. That's like direct. That's not a mistake, right?
I mean, it better be. Look, if there's a possibility that Aaron Rodgers is available, that is the biggest reason to get off board with Jared Goff if you want to. And Dominique, you made a point that I had forgotten. He was apparently, we thought in his first year, the worst #1 overall pick that we had seen at quarterback. I mean, and that's a long list of dudes. I had forgotten that was the case. And they were just good enough to trick themselves into thinking, well, damn, we got to have a quarterback. Let's give this one $30 million. Only to go ahead a couple years later and be like, what's his name? Yeah, let's start him. I'm not just saying that because I don't remember the dude's name. I don't think they remember his name half the time. All they knew is that he was not Jared Goff. Jared Goff went out there in the playoffs playing with a broken thumb on his throwing hand, and they won a game, and they still like, nah, this is not what's up.
Wolford. Chronology.
Dom, this is beyond flirting. This is asking for photos.
Do you trust the latest rumors that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are headed for a divorce?
All right, so Aaron Rodgers went on Pat McAfee's show, and he sounded like a dude that thinks he's going to be playing for the Green Bay Packers, right? He just felt like he was acknowledging the fact that it's the NFL and things happen, but he thinks he's going to be back there. Jason Lock-on-4 of CBS, however, said he got a text from a random phone number that he did not have. It turned out to be from a head coach who's like, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers on this team? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers on that team? I refuse to believe that coming off of an MVP season, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be the MVP, that the Packers are going to say, let's see what we've got in Jordan Love. They're not going to do this right now. Think about this with the Brett Favre situation. They drafted Aaron Rodgers in 2005. He didn't make it to the field until 2008. Why? Because it would have been stupid to put him out there at this point. And I just can't believe the Packers are that damn stupid that they would bail on Aaron Rodgers now.
Well, you refuse to believe that, and I refuse to believe that an NFL head coach is going to leak the news this way. I refuse to believe that reading those quotes in the Jason Lock-on-4 article, that coach knew anything more about Aaron Rodgers than you and I. Because it was basically saying, oh, yeah, he meant what he said. He said something for a reason. No, I'm with you, Bo. I trust what Aaron Rodgers said. And he sounded like a guy who was, probably going to be back. He sounded like a guy who, was really upset that they lost and acknowledged that he was speaking emotionally at the time. I definitely don't think that it's a head coach fishing to a reporter is going to be the reason this is going to break. I just don't believe it. I think now more than ever, I believe Aaron Rodgers is going to be back in Green Bay next year.
Yeah, so I believe everything that people have said about Aaron Rodgers, about how he's very smart, he's calculated, he's a Jeopardy champ. I don't think this was emotional. I think this was for a reason. And it's not necessarily to get himself out of town, but it's to wield some power. Because what happened to him last year is something that I see happen to every quarterback that's in the league. All of them think that they are above the rest of the players because the organizations treat them that way for much of their careers until they find out you ain't nothing special. You just one of us. I don't care how many MVP trophies you got. I don't care how many Super Bowls you take us to. At a certain point, we're going to send you to Kansas City, just like Joe Montana went out. I can go down the list. Brett Favre had to go to Minnesota, into the Jets. Like all these great quarterbacks. Tom Brady's in Tampa. All these great quarterbacks eventually find out that you don't own it. You are just an employee. And Aaron Rodgers found that out last year. And now he's holding their feet to the fire. And I think they will not use the first pick this year on a quarterback. They're going to use it on something that Aaron wants, on something that Aaron approves of. And they're not going to have him in the last couple years of his deal with money that's not guaranteed. They're going to do that deal and guarantee Aaron 50 or 60 more million because Aaron recognizes that he has the power. And I think the point of this was to let him know, I'm not scared to walk away. I'll walk away. I'll pull a Carson Palmer on you in a second, and then y'all be stuck with Jordan Love.
Yeah, let me tell you this about that I ain't scared to walk away thing. You remember what happened at first when Carson Palmer walked away? Mike Brown went like this and was like, cool. We'll just wait until we get someplace to trade you. And then they got a heist for him on 2 first-round picks. Like, he can walk away if he wants to, but he ain't going nowhere until they are good and damn ready for him to be gone. Ask Brett Favre about that. They told him, we don't want you to start anymore, but you ain't going nowhere until we decide where it is.
Man, Domonique, it would be messed up if they sent him to Kansas City to be Mahomes' backup.
I mean, I was talking about Montana. Obviously, no one's going to Kansas City. That is funny, though. What about when this comes for Mahomes? I know it's many years down the road, but it's going to happen to him, too. No matter how many Super Bowls you win, you are just like us.
Does it make sense for the Pelicans to give up on Lonzo already?
All right, Shams Charania of The Athletic is reporting that the Pelicans have a bit out on Lonzo Ball, who hasn't played well this year, also may be looking to trade J.J. Redick. And I feel like you look up and down the Pelicans roster, and it reminds you, there's a reason why the Lakers are like, you can have whoever you want on our roster in order to get him, right? Whatever it takes. Because at best, it was a bunch of low spades, right? At best, it was a bunch of dudes that you'd like to have, but nobody that you could never dare part with. So they've got Ingram, and they've got the potential of Zion Williamson. Outside of that, I don't feel like anybody else that's on that roster is legitimately part of whatever their future is going to be. They might be, but you don't have to keep them. Now, the question is, who wants Lonzo at this point, right? Like we're at year 4 in this experiment, and he has not been the player that we thought he was going to be. And what's even crazier is I'm not even sure we have a great idea of what kind of player we think he's ultimately going to turn out to be. So yeah, they'll let him go if he can get something right for him.
Yeah, I don't quite see the point. Who wants Lonzo at this point? So maybe they can get something for him, but there's no defense for keeping Lonzo because you're right. He's been up and down, but even his ups haven't been like superstar or star level ups. His ups have been like role player level, and his downs have been awful, especially in the bubble last year. We thought that maybe he just was uncomfortable or sad because he was in the bubble, and then he comes out and does this outside of the bubble. So there's no reason to hold on to Lonzo. What I don't understand is JJ Redick. Like, what do they need more than shooting? What does anybody in this league need more than shooting? So maybe JJ is spent in a way that I don't understand, but how can you not find a place for a shooter on your roster, especially when you got a guy that you want to build around in Zion Williamson, who is definitely going to be patrolling the inside? You need someone to complement that. And I felt like JJ was a good guy in that situation.
I'm wondering what you guys think is the dynamic part of Lonzo's game. I mean, up until today, I think the best part people could say was defensively, right? He was good long, can stay in front of guys, but not like top of the league, all NBA. Hey, this guy can shut people down at defensive player. So what is he exactly? We were trying to tell us, Stan had been trying to tell us through the preseason, early on the season, that his shooting improvement was real. He is a good shooter. He's shooting as bad from 3 as he has his entire career. So yeah, it's easy to look at and say, hey, we need to move on from Lonzo, especially with this team. They're missing Drew Holiday, okay, because they traded him to Milwaukee. They're missing a playmaker, they're missing a guy, a steady guy, and they're missing a shooter. Obviously, they got a haul for him, so it's okay to give him away. But yeah, you've got it. You can't have Brandon Ingram, even though he has improved tremendously as a playmaker. He can't be your best playmaker because he's got to be your best scorer. And so, yeah, they need to find some sort of combination, whether they're giving up on JJ Redick because he doesn't have it anymore or because he's the appealing piece in a package. I'm not sure, but they definitely need a playmaker and they need more shooting. They're definitely not going to depend on Eric Bledsoe shooting 40% from 3 all season long.
By the way, JJ Redick, sneaky old. This is his 15th year in the NBA. I believe he is 37 years. What?
Up next on HQ.
Izzy, they don't have the locker room access now, but tell me Brad Beal doesn't look like this guy. What guy? You know the guy I'm talking about. The one where you go ask him what's going on, and he just looks at you and says, just write what you see. Just write what you see, right? But the dude's just completely out of answers as to why we're so sorry. He don't want to dog everybody else out, so it's just write what you see.
That's exactly right.
Do you question if John Wall took too much joy in beating his former team?
Yeah, the Rockets beat the brakes off the Wizards, which would be more impressive if they weren't the Wizards, because it seems like everybody beats the brakes off them. But let's get a look at this. About 5 minutes left is Russell Westbrook, who now plays for the Wizards. John Wall, who used to. It's one of them double tech situations.
If you haven't seen the Rockets play this year, they're the ones in blue. I know It's weird.
Some of us are from Houston, so we understand why. And there's Brad Beal. Remember, he was like, yeah, I want to get it done here. I want to stay here and win here. All right, here's John Wall post-game.
But I just feel like the organization thought I was done. No matter how much hard work I put in over the summer, they came and watched me. I thought they thought I was done, and that's why I came out here and did what I did.
Where have you seen this group progress the most over the last 2 weeks?
Man, I think just getting the trades in, getting people that want to be here, committing on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I do have to say this, though, John Wall. We all thought you were finished. You had a torn Achilles. We thought everybody would have torn Achilles, wound up being finished. The thing is, they traded you for Russell Westbrook, who is finished. There doesn't seem to be no mystery about that.
The saddest part to me is the Bradley Beal thing. So many guys in the league have gone the bad guy route, have gone the jerk route to get themselves out of town. Bradley Beal's going the nice guy route, and he's ending up in tears. And I don't know if he was in tears there, but it looks like he's in tears. And apparently the plan is to get everybody in the league to feel so sorry for you that the Wizards finally trade you to a good team.
Nice guys finished last, Bradley. But it didn't seem to me like John Wall was enjoying it, taking joy of that moment. He kind of seemed pained to me. In the longer version of that clip, he talks about all the people and the fans in DC where I live who love and support him. And that's true. I think there are a lot of people here who were happy to see John Wall playing well in this moment. As much as the national media comes down on John Wall, There's something special about him in this city. So I was happy to see him play well, happy to see him get a win, but it don't matter. Neither of those teams going anywhere.
Hey, Izzy, you know, they don't have the locker room access now, but tell me Brad Beal doesn't look like this guy. What guy? You know the guy I'm talking about, the one where you go ask him what's going on, and he just looks at you and says, just write what you see. Just write what you see, right? When the dude's just completely out of answers as to why we're so sorry. He don't want to dog everybody else out, so it's just write what you see.
That's exactly right.
Do you question if this is an important piece of legislation?
Okay, so we are going to start with Inside the NBA a few nights ago with Shaq talking to Donovan Mitchell crazy.
Father, this is Shaq. I said tonight that you are one of my favorite players, but you don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I wanted you to hear it. What do you have to say about that?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
All right, that's it.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
I wanted you to hear it.
I've been hearing, Shaq, I've been hearing that since my rookie year. You know, I'm just going to get better and do what I do.
Good.
At the end of the day.
Well, that's what I wanted you to hear you say.
Yes,
Love
sir.
your game, brother. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Shaq was so whack for that, but apparently somebody in the Utah House of Representatives thought it was extra whack because look at this.
Be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the state of Utah, whereas the Utah Jazz are a beloved part of the Utah community and the National Basketball Association, whereas in Utah, we support our players when they face awkward abuse during post-game interviews disguised as pep talks. Whereas the claim by Shaquille O'Neal on January 21st, 2021, that the Utah Jazz All-Star Donovan Mitchell Jr. doesn't have what it takes to get to the next level is even less accurate than his 50.4% playoff free throw percentage, slightly worse than Donovan's 88.1%. Whereas the Jazz eliminated Shaq and the Los Angeles Lakers from the playoffs in the 1997 4-1 and 1998 4-0. Whereas we're not talking about 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2006 right now. In those years, which Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers and Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat won championships for Shaq. Man. Whereas Kazam has a 5% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Whereas, although Shaq's skill was being bigger than everybody else, Donovan has progressively succeeded through talent, dedication, and constant effort. Therefore, be it resolved that the Utah House of Representatives recognizes the exemplary service of Donovan Mitchell Jr. to the Utah Jazz and to the people of the great state of Utah.
House Resolution for Substitute House Resolution 3 passes the House 67 yes votes and 5 no votes and will be sent from staff to enrolling.
Yo, I just want to say I do hate the fact that now people are starting to lie about Shaq and try to act like he was just like some dude who was just lucky to be big and not one of the greatest big men that we have ever seen. However, shout out to the producers for not letting us know she was going to be doing this in a referee shirt.
I mean, what is she, the referee of America? What is that?
Like, does she work at Foot Locker? I was absolutely not expecting that part.
The last thing we need is to spend extra time indoors for a burn she could have done on Twitter. That was not good enough to spend these people's time. And who are the 5 people who voted no?
Was he the chair? He had on a jersey. What are you doing? Like, pandemic is the least of our political issues right now. What is they do? They just wanted some attention. They wanted to get on HQ. Like, okay, Donovan Mitchell is great. If he get a chance to get the hell up out of Utah, it don't matter that you guys did this resolution. He going somewhere else. So get off of him. Let him live.
Starting off, one of the highlights, probably a top 10 highlight of my career was my rookie year as a pro. I was covering the Marlins and I went into the Red Sox clubhouse and talked to Pedro, and I've managed to get him one-on-one for a couple minutes, and I mentioned off the top that I was Dominican, and he said, "Oh, you're my brother." And I didn't even hear him right. I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Oh, you're my brother. You're my Dominican brother." And he put his arm around me. I was like, "Great. I love this. I'm related to Pedro."
Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Nuggets and Heat.
All right, we're going out to the homie Bowl. He's 7'2" or 7'3". It doesn't really matter when you're in that range. You're the same height, basically. Second longest wingspan in the NBA. Let's watch him do some dunks in pregame.
What? It's even hard. Like, what are you supposed to look at? Like, I kind of want to look at his feet to see how high he gets off the ground. But it's crazy impressive there. But
he is the gangliest man in the world. Domonique, are you intrigued?
I'm not intrigued by the game or by Bol in the dunk contest. When I'm most impressed by Bol, while that was a great dunk, is when he has the ball in his hands. We got to get him in the skills challenge. Like, him handling the ball and passing is what's impressive. You want a little guy in a dunk contest, watching someone who's 6 foot do an amazing dunk is incredible. Watching someone who's 7'2" handle the ball like he has some guard experience, now that's more impressive. That's what I want out of Bol.
Is you intrigued?
I'm very much intrigued. I want to see the dunk again, though, because, again, it's just really awkward. It kind of looks like a ceiling fan in your living room that's a little oversized. Like, you don't know really. It's just kind of all over the place. And, I mean, it's crazy impressive. So, yes, I am intrigued.
Sound like you need
some
bigger rooms.
I've learned, I gotta say, I've learned something about people who can be that critical about the details of dunks. They all got one thing in common. Ain't never done it themselves.
I grabbed the rim when I was 19. It's about as high as I got.
Okay. Glad you got there. All right, that's the show. Check out Izzy Gutierrez somewhere lifting weights. Domonique Foxworth on the Undefeated, not being as fast as Scotty Miller.
Hell no. And you can check out Bomani's piece in the Washington Post, which is good, but not as good as the piece they did on me in the Washington Post.
I'm sure they did a piece on you one of them times you got burnt.
The jealousy, it runs deep.
Yes.
I am jealous of your hair, though. I don't like that it's better than mine, even with the hairline.
Today's opening tip, Trae Young.